In a quiet, lazy village, where even the flies yawned, there lived a donkey named Dodo. He was so lazy that even his shadow sometimes left him to find a job. Dodo often bragged proudly, "I don't sleep all day. I just rest my eyes from sunrise to sunset." But one windy afternoon, something unbelievable happened. A doctor's coat came flying through the air and wrapped around Dodo's neck. A hat landed perfectly on his head. Dr. Dodo. Sounds expensive. And that's how his medical career began, by pure accident and maximum stupidity. Before that day, Dodo had no job, no plan, and no reason to move faster than a snail. But now, dressed like a doctor, he stood tall and declared, "I finally look smart enough to give bad advice." The animals stared at him. One rabbit whispered, "Is that a doctor?" Another replied, "Well, he's wearing the coat, so maybe." And just like that, Dr. Dodo was born, the most confident fool the world had ever seen. The very next morning, a chicken ran to Dodo, sneezing so hard that 3 feathers flew straight into space. The chicken shouted, "Doctor, I think I'm allergic to eggs." Dodo nodded wisely, pretending to think deeply, then said, "Eat grass 3 times a day, and whatever you do, don't sit near omelets." The chicken obeyed. The next morning, she felt fine, mostly because she forgot what she was sick with. When Dodo heard, he jumped up, shouting, "My first cure! I'm a legend already!" Then he tried to high-five himself, and missed. Soon, the line outside his clinic looked like a supermarket on free cheese day. Rabbits, goats, cows, everyone came. A big wooden sign said, "Dr. Dodo's Magical Medicine. No refunds, no logic, 100% grass-based." Dodo treated a goat with hiccups by scaring it with a mirror. It worked! He proudly wrote, "New discovery, fear therapy." And just like that, Dodo became the first vegetarian millionaire. Mayor Roostington the Rooster strutted in, wearing shiny sunglasses. "Doctor, I can't stop crowing every 5 minutes." "You have cockadoodleitis. Sleep upside down for 2 nights. The rooster fainted, trying silence at last. The village called Dodo a national treasure. A sneaky fox came into the clinic, whispering nervously, "Doctor, I need a love potion. Strong, quick, and romantic." Dodo mixed mud, garlic, and expired honey, stirred it proudly, and said, "Drink this. It's called romantic soup." The fox took 1 sip and instantly smelled like a swamp full of garlic. Frogs started following him, and mosquitoes sang love songs around his head. The fox shouted, "You didn't make me charming, you made me chimichurri!" And that day, Dodo proudly wrote in his notebook, "Another successful treatment," even though nobody asked for one. A giant bear stormed into the clinic, roaring, "My tooth hurts!" Dodo stood calmly, holding a rock in his hoof. He said, "Bite this rock. If the rock breaks, your tooth is fine." The bear chomped down, and the rock shattered into pieces. The bear grinned proudly and said, "You're right." Then Dodo fainted on the spot. The bear gently fanned him with a tree branch and whispered, "Best doctor ever. Doesn't even charge for naps." Feeling confident, Dodo built his own hospital, though, in truth, it was just an old barn with a sign that said, "Don't panic. Dr. Dodo is here." Sometimes. His assistants were 2 loyal helpers, Pippi the parrot, who yelled at every patient, "Pay first!" and Momo the mouse, who quietly stole snacks from the waiting room. Every day was total chaos. 1 patient screaming, 1 snoring, 1 eating the medicine by mistake. Still, Dodo bragged proudly, "We're the busiest hospital in the jungle. Nobody knows why." A fancy city horse trotted in and said, "Doctor, I'm losing my shine." Without hesitation, Dodo grabbed a broom and a bottle of cooking oil. He shouted proudly, "Say goodbye to dullness." He polished the horse until it looked like a living disco ball. When the horse trotted home, he slipped on a banana peel and accidentally started a parade. The next day's newspaper headline read, "Local horse shines bright like a diamond. Credits Donkey Doctor." Early one morning, a duck came rushing in, flapping wildly, shouting, "Doctor, the pond froze!" Dodo rushed to the pond, pressed his stethoscope against the ice, and announced dramatically, "The pond's heartbeat is weak." "Emergency surgery!" He poured hot soup all over the frozen pond. Steam rose into the air, and the ducks cheered and quacked. "Dr. Dodo saved the day!" Dodo proudly scribbled in his notebook, "New specialty discovered: pond therapy and boiled science." One afternoon, human inspectors arrived to visit the famous Doctor Dodo. They expected brilliance, but instead found a donkey wearing bottle cap glasses. Dodo stood proudly in front of the carrot on a table and shouted, "Silence! I'm operating on a carrot." The inspectors froze, confused. Meanwhile, a bear chewed rocks in the corner, and a goat sneezed glitter. One inspector whispered, "This isn't medicine, it's modern art." And before they could question him, they fainted, one by one. Dodo crossed his hooves and declared proudly, "My treatment is too advanced for humans." Suddenly, the fox burst through the clinic door, shouting angrily, "He's no doctor. He's a donkey!" The entire room gasped. All eyes turned to Dodo. But Dodo stood tall and said confidently, "Yes, but name one animal that died under my care." Everyone looked around. Every patient was alive, healthy, and strangely happy. The crowd erupted into cheers, shouting, "Long live Dr. Dodo, the miracle donkey!" The fox fainted again, this time from frustration. Soon, the city invited Dr. Dodo to teach advanced donkey medicine. Standing proudly on a big stage, Dodo declared, "Rule number 1, if it moves, it can heal. If it doesn't move, it needs more grass." The audience roared with applause. Dodo bowed deeply and whispered to himself, "Who said laziness doesn't pay?" Then, his stethoscope, actually a garden hose, slipped off and rolled across the floor. One bright morning, Dr. Dodo sneezed so hard that his hat flew off, his stethoscope bounced out the window, and 3 papers landed on a chicken. Dodo gasped and shouted, "The great Dr. Dodo is sick?" He stared into a mirror, then grabbed a spoon, then a frying pan. Finally, he sighed dramatically and said, "Diagnosis confirmed. Donkey flu type D." He scribbled his own prescription: 2 naps, 3 snacks, and 1 loud complaint. Word spread quickly. Soon his loyal patients arrived to help. The chicken marched in carrying a pot of soup. The bear brought a jar of honey bigger than his head. And the fox, still smelling of garlic, showed up with another bag, just in case. Dodo lay in bed, wearing his doctor's coat, and said, "Nurse, I need more carrots for science." By the next morning, he leapt out of bed proudly and announced, "I cured myself with the power of napping." All the animals cheered and held up a huge banner that read, "Get well soon from yourself." And that's how Dr. Dodo became his own patient and his own cure. But of course, the story didn't end there. As the credits rolled, the jungle kept laughing at Dr. Dodo's latest adventures. Outside his clinic, Dodo hung a brand new wooden sign that read, "Dr. Dodo's Medicine, 50% science, 50% guesswork, 100% confusion." A long line of animals stood there scratching their heads. One rabbit whispered, "I don't get it, but it sounds professional." Meanwhile, the fox tried to sue Dodo for emotional garlic trauma, but before reaching court, he slipped on garlic again and crashed into a signpost. From the ground, the fox groaned, "I rest my case. And my tail." Dodo shook his head and said proudly, "Justice is slippery sometimes." Finally, Dodo opened his very own medical school, Rows of donkeys, goats, and chickens wore white coats, staring up at their teacher. Dodo pointed at a chalkboard that read, Lesson 1. If it moves, it's fine. If it doesn't, it needs more grass. Remember, class, confidence is the cure! The students applauded, then immediately started eating the grass. And that's the world of Dr. Dodo, where confusion is medicine, naps are therapy, and laughter is the cure. Coming soon, Dr. Dodo 2, the donkey who became a dentist.